The other way around. Got him.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the chat. Thank you so much for being here. Pull this up. Today we have a special guest. It's kind of our part 2 of our conversation from his channel a few weeks ago. But welcome, Wel-Don Tanks is here. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. I'm glad you had me here. I've been looking forward to this one because part 1 was definitely exciting. So I definitely wanted to hear your end of part 2 now. So looking forward to this.
Yeah, and there's no rhyme or reason to my madness. So whatever you want to talk about, we can talk about. We just spent yesterday cleaning everything tank wise. We were on it yesterday, so everything looks so good today.
I see. That's why I have limited tanks that are even on camera in the studios. As long as that one looks all right, I'm doing all right.
Yeah, the one behind him, Jesse. This one. This is the one that it's. We'll get it figured out eventually.
I purposely didn't water change anything first.
Hi, Stellinia and Geek Boys here. Welcome. Welcome to the chat.
Hello, everyone.
Oh, yeah. She put me through my paces yesterday.
Yeah, I had him
retarded. Working. It was goofy. I mean, you can't do 30 plus tanks in one day as hard as she was pushing me.
Yeah, we got it all done.
I think I was down on my when was it? Friday night? I think I was down in my fish room for like 4 hours doing the same thing. I usually get like one good catch-up day once a week, maybe every other week. So I'm down there for a couple hours just making sure everything gets cleaned up and looking good. And then it goes all the hell the next week or so as I'm working. Then I just try
Well, my tanks are a mess because I've been on, like everybody knows, all I've been doing is playing with puppies. So the tanks, like, they're fed and they look good and everybody's happy, but they could have had some more attention the last few weeks for sure.
So I was on the devil of the details.
Yeah, I had him on cleaning. Some of the filters were just really they weren't clogged yet, but you could tell that they were getting there.
I know it's bad on my AquaClear when the sponge starts pushing the lid off of the AquaClear. That's when I know it's time to be clean. So that's kind of my visual representation I use on those filters.
It's 20 long behind him. It's the one that's always. But you know those shrimp I have yellow shrimp in there, and there's always shrimplets in there.
Yes.
There's always shrimplets in there, but it looks horrible. Biggs is here. Welcome. Thank you for being here.
Yeah. If she'd have wore something different and just kind of ran around the house, that'd be perfect. I'd have went a lot faster.
I had my hoodie on and like 3 pairs of sweatpants because it was cold yesterday. It finally warmed up this afternoon, but I was like, I come with like a permanent like blanket cape when I'm at home. Like And then I complain that I get hot. And then I'm like, well, maybe I should wear 15 layers.
Well, my friends tease me that I have, what do they call it? My work uniforms. What do they say? It's like, your life is bad when you wear work uniforms and lounge pants, maybe a pair of jeans once a week. That's what I'm in 90% of the time is my work uniforms. Yeah.
I wore blue jeans to the salon the other day and I was like, oh my gosh, this feels weird. I forgot what blue jeans feel like. We got a super sticker from the other Carrie. Welcome, Carrie. A fist pump. Thank you. It's a $2.99 super sticker. Thank you. Skipper's here. Welcome. I believe it was Skipper's birthday. Yes. Was it yesterday? I think it was. Jesse's birthday was the 27th. I went to Walmart and got a Reese's Pieces cake, a chocolate cake, like 3 different strawberry contraptions of cupcakes. And then I think I got a plate of cookies. But Jesse's birthday and his mom's birthday is the same day. So we had a double birthday
you want
party.
to talk about the ultimate downer for your mom, having me.
They had the same birthday, yeah.
I'm just hearing all the cakes you listed off, and I want some. That's all I'm at.
She's really hard to shop for, but I got her some new earrings from the kids. Tiffany made it. Welcome, Tiffany.
My mom's
here.
a trip. She's something else.
Yeah.
As she nods silently to herself. Cannot say out loud.
Well, do you have any upcoming summer plans? Anything exciting on the horizon?
We're the biggest one is we're trying to move. That's our biggest like summer plan if that comes together. We were trying to go down to Aquashella, and I had an invite from Wild Fish Tanks. If I could make it to Aquashella, he was going to take me collecting.
Oh wow!
But then it's turned into like we're trying to move. Like we're trying to move cross country practically. So we don't know if it was. So we kind of put that plan on hold. If another local-ish, like I'm going to say within like 12 hours of me driving there, I may try and do some more fish room tours this summer. Now that things are loosening up and people are okay with a outsider coming to their home, which I understand. But other than that, like it's hard for us to travel. My wife really wants to. We just haven't done much of it. So we're hoping if we can get moved, settled, I think then more travel will happen. It's just things are so crazy now. Hi. We may get a little visitor right here for a second.
Yeah, mine's right around the door, and
do you want to come say hi?
Hey, Crystal. Hey, Tiffany.
Come say hi.
Oh.
You don't need this. Oh yeah, you shy.
Oh my goodness.
You want to say hello to the fishies? Okay, you go say hello to the fishies.
Hi.
Oh my goodness. Oh, so beautiful.
If you're coming out here, you gotta say hello. You can't be hiding.
He's 9 basically, and I don't even hardly remember him being that little. It goes by so quick.
She is almost, what are we at, 2.5 now? We're at 2.5 now.
Oh.
We're trying to get rid of this, but she's super shy right now.
Yeah, our challenge with Brighton was the sippy cup. He never took us past Pirate Bay. He got onto that sippy cup until he shouldn't have had a sippy cup.
Yeah,
but there goes the whole other question. Is it a pacifier or what do they call it?
We call it a binky, and shit's what she can say. She calls it a binky.
That's what I was waiting for. That's what I was waiting for.
What are you doing?
Okay. Did she help or is interested in the fish tanks? Like, does she come in and like watch the tanks or anything?
Yeah, so that's every night she has to come in and she says, I have to say goodnight to the fishies. Aww. And then when I brought home my Mabu puffer for the very short time span before he passed, it was I want to go say, can I go take care of the owie fishy? And now that we have a new puffer here, which is, the healthy, good going, she comes in, she's like, where's Puffer? Where's the Puffer? Right. She's just, I asked the question, literally just pointed at the thing. So she likes to come in and see these. She really likes feeding the pond outside. And then I'm slowly letting her into the fish room downstairs just because it's so cramped.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know, probably to my wife's demise, I know as soon as we get a larger fish room, she'll be in there more than me, I imagine.
Yeah, Brighton comes in spells. Like, there's certain times where he's super interested in helping me, especially with feeding. And there's other times he just tells me, like, no more fish, Mom.
Yeah, I let her. I'll let her pick out some food. That's why I'm okay with the pond. Is that she'll just grab a handful of food and throw it in. It is what it is.
Yep.
What?
Yep.
No, my chair's just fine, thank you. Okay, will you go find Mom? Love you. That's fine. We'll keep rolling.
It happened. They're usually like standing right on the other side of the computer going, come on, we want the internet. Come on. I'm like, okay, guys.
Yeah, wait till they get on a time crunch.
We got to share the internet.
Yeah, wait till you do the time crunch on it.
I compete against Fortnite, right? And he's like, okay, Mom, let's go. Oh, Danica here. Welcome, Danica.
Crystal's in here. There's all kinds of cool people in here.
Yeah. I get distracted and I can't talk and read at the same time. So sorry, guys. I get one thing at a time.
Well, when you have such a good guest, I mean, it's hard.
Yeah, but
I understand.
He was,
I'm just
so
here.
professional when I was on, even with the internet problems, you were like, had good questions. And it seems like when I like do what I'm supposed to for like the chat and have like a guest and I get so nervous that I can't even talk. So I'm just like, let's just wing it and see what happens. Because
Now, there's no reason to be nervous around me. I'm just a fellow fish nerd that
I
likes
know,
to
but
take
you guys
pictures of
are
fish.
so cool. Like all the fish people, everybody I talk to, I'm like, man, they're so cool.
Oh, I recently was able to go out and see Mountaintop Puffer Keeper.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of the same thing when I got there. There's a difference in talking to somebody online, like through chats and things, and then all of a sudden you like meet them in person, and it's kind of a starstruck moment. And they're always like, "No, like, why are you starstruck around me?" It's like, because I've been watching your chats for months.
I know.
And now I get to put a face to the name, and I get to see like it's. So I understand. I get it.
Yeah. Yeah, the first like couple of times, even now, like it still will happen. I'll go to Aquashella here in a few weeks, and the first day I'm just like, I'll put words together. It's okay. Because I don't watch a lot of TV, and I watch FishTube, and sometimes I watch too much FishTube that I forget to put out my own videos. And I'm like, man, everybody has so like they're so knowledgeable. And before I started doing YouTube, I thought I knew how to do stuff, but I learned so much. It's so, I don't know. I don't even know how to put words to it. I'm just so appreciative of everybody. Everybody's
got something they can bring to the table. And that's what I've running a channel. Because I mean, we're the same way. I'm still learning. You've probably been in the same boat. You put a video out saying, "Hey, this is how I did this," and the first 20 comments are, "You're wrong." So that's why I love kind of like poking the bear a little bit of. I'm not going to make like a super controversial video, but I like poking. Everybody has got something they can bring to the table because your experience versus my experience. Yeah. Like you swam a fish around in a tank for 5 minutes twice a day to see how it produced different guppy fry. I've never done that. So you have way more knowledge in a predatory based fish than I ever have.
Yeah.
Well, it's always fun to see everybody's little tricks of what they believe or see that is better than someone else. And there's always a middle ground there somewhere.
Well, even when I totally mess up, like I have messed up, and at the time, I don't even know why I thought it was a good idea. And looking back on it, I'm like, why would you do that?
Oh, I know where you're going with this one.
Like, I've just learned a lot, even in the things that I shouldn't have done.
Let's put a red crawfish in with a predatory fish.
Yeah, I got these super cool, like let me tell you, sometimes, you guys, my brain just doesn't work very well sometimes. And I thought it was really cool to put these really beautiful, bright red crayfish in with a largemouth bass. Do you know how long it didn't even make it to the bottom of the tank? And the whole time at that auction, I'm like, this is going to look so cool. Like the red are going to claw around. I have never phased my brain that it's like, they eat those in the wild. And they're brightly colored red. And fish are really attracted to red. And I'm just going to drop it down. Not only drop it down, but not even bother to turn off the lights. I'm like, it made sense in my head. And then you look back and you're like, should you even be responsible for a fish tank?
You got to enjoy it for a few seconds. At least you got some enjoyment out of it.
Yeah. And I was like, that was like a $50 meal for that largemouth bass. And he enjoyed it. He loved it. But
it was like going to a good steak and lobster house for him.
And then other times, like when I think it's a good idea to start a water change right before like a nightly routine, knowing as soon as I go up them stairs, I'm going to forget about the siphon. No matter how many times I think I'm going to remember, I'm going to wake up the next day, I'm going to have this much water in my tank, and the whole floor is flooded. But at the time when I start that siphon, I have full faith myself that I'm going to come back downstairs and remember it. But
full attentions. Nope, been there, done that one.
Yeah, it's just some of the things in the past that I've done. I'm like, just keep going. Yeah, a harder lesson for that crayfish. Oh my goodness. I felt as soon as it happened, it was that immediately just regret and yeah.
Yep. And then I showed her my tackle box full of most of the lures that were colored.
There were all the crayfish lures.
I do think,
Yep.
Harry, that this did not work. It's like way to rub it in.
Unfortunately, sweetheart, there is a reason for this.
Mm-hmm. But then there's sometimes you do things they're like honest little mistakes that it turns out to be fantastic and the best thing you ever did. And you're like, I'm glad I accidentally stumbled onto that.
Yep.
It works the other way around too. Like,
what have I stumbled on? 'Cause there's things down in my fish room too I know I've like just randomly tried it, or I stumbled on something and you kind of get a weird, quirky idea. So it's like, hey, that works. Like that, like whatever just happened, that worked.
Yeah. It's like, who would it? Well, I'm glad I did that.
It's fun.
Those bright ideas do work.
And trying to replicate that is always the hard part because depends on how many adult beverages you've had for a moment. It may you really may accidentally do something.
Oh yeah. I've had to lesson learned. My 20s were a learning experience. My 30s, I'm glad I've grown as a person in my 30s. But other than cleaning, do you garden or anything?
My wife runs, we have like I say a garden out and back. I don't do much with it other than I just turn on the sprinklers for her. So she kind of takes part of that. Aquaponics is something I would like to do eventually, even just on like a small scale setting. We don't do, but she's kind of more she likes to make salsa, homemade salsa. So everything she plants is what will then turn into homemade salsa if they all grow properly.
Yeah. The hardest part, like I try it. And I think this time my 5th attempt at the cucumbers, they finally took. And I don't know, usually they're ones that take off extremely well, but we started using the fish tank water in our little bitty, I don't know if you'd call it garden. It's kind of like a little bit over here and a little bit over there. Some stuff still in the laundry room. But we started using the fish tank water and it really has helped.
That's why I want to play. My idea for aquaponics is if I could have like the auto water, because I run auto water change, to have that then run through even like just a garden bed or something. So I have an idea in my mind, but it's going to take probably a larger scale, like a place where I could actually set up like this is going to be 100-gallon totes. Like maybe this will work. I don't know, but I don't have that space right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could probably start taking some stuff out back when I change the pond, we will typically run it over to her plants, like her trees, use that kind of same thing. But yeah, that's definitely some grand water to use on plants. That's for sure.
Yeah, I had no idea. But after talking to our neighbor, she uses like fish fertilizer. And I was like, well, anytime you want to come over, She's
already got a standing order.
Yeah, like you can take like anytime. What kind of fish do you have in your pond?
So right now I just have goldfish in there. Just some more like the fancy goldfish. My favorite ones though, I don't remember the name. I think they're called a Sarasa goldfish.
Oh wow,
they have fancy. Very very similar patterns to like a red and white koi, but you're not going to get the jumbo fish out there. Then I have a couple of just the regular, the Urandas in there. And so they're fun, they're derpy. My original intention was to make a giant rice fish pond. And I wanted to have, just hundreds of rice fish and they're breeding a storm up. That didn't work out. So we did goldfish and then we overwintered them. They did great. The pond froze over, but nothing went wrong with them. So now it's turned into more of just a nice feature out back that's just relaxing to kind of hang out by.
Yeah. They're like, I don't know if people don't like goldfish or if they just have like a bad name because they're so cheap, but I really enjoy watching them swim. There's something about watching the goldfish when I have some in the aquarium upstairs, but I have some in the pond too. And the way they swim, it's just, you could watch them for hours. You really can. And I don't know. I don't feel like there's a lot of people that I see keep as many goldfish as some of the other fish, like the guppies and stuff, but they're really entertaining to just sit there and just watch for a long time.
That's why I like them out in the pond is I can successfully keep them out there. They're happy. They're fat and happy. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So, but watching them
happier outside
when they come up and because they'll come up towards the surface and I think they're like sunbathing. They are beautiful when they come up to the top of the water and that sun shines off of them. They're they're incredible fish.
Yeah, I have two. The two upstairs, actually, I have two. The one that I had that was really old passed away. I think it was like a week ago. It was like 15 years old. And now that I have just two, they're smaller ones. I think I'm going to go ahead and add them to the outside pond because they do so much better outside. And I was nervous about keeping them outside, but they even freezing completely, the goldfish, because I have a one so far in there. And then I think we have 4 koi. They're not very big yet, though, but they're gaining. And then we have rosy red minnows, but I think there's a bunch of frogs, and we found the garter snake. And I think they ate some of the minnows that were in there. But,
some minnows.
Yeah, they do fantastic. And seems like they just grow and eat, and they're very entertaining to watch.
Yes, they are.
Especially when the koi come up and you can hear them eating, slurping. But we have mosquito fish outside in our one of our larger tubs. And it looks not so good, but I have a trash can lid out there that floats. And those mosquito fish are sunbathing on top of that lid all the time. They're just
interesting
sunbathing. And then they're always underneath it too. They're always clustered. They're always in a group. But the smallest fry are the ones you catch. They're kind of resting on there. And then every so often there'll be some of the older ones. But they're just resting in that really shallow, it's got to be warm water, just enjoying the sunshine. But they're in a 300-gallon tote, like bin from the farmer's
stock tub.
Yeah, stock tub. I can't remember. We do have a few rice fish outside, but they're in the smaller tubs, and we just moved them back outside. And they didn't. I brought them in because I thought they were gonna get too frozen because they were in the smaller tub. But I got way more fry out of them being outside, and I don't know if I'm going to move them back in or not. I might just figure out how to keep that water from freezing because they did okay inside, but I still have them, but they did far better outside enjoying.
Yeah, I gotta get some more rice fish back in my life. They're honestly still I used to talk about them all the time. They're still one of my favorite fish, but I'm into more because like I've done the Daisy Blues, but there's some red ones that are coming out of Hawaii that I really want to get my hands on. But they are going for insane amounts on Aquabid. So it's going to be as soon as if I can move, kind of get settled, let the business go. Like maybe there'll be a little left over. I can start playing on Aquabid to get the rice fish I want because they are such a unique fish.
Well, maybe I've talked to a couple people about it. I have the blue daisies, and then I have the pearl galaxies. And the pearl galaxies maybe I told you, maybe it was you I was talking to. They've produced like 3 or 4. They're rose gold, pinkish. And they've grown up. And I'm trying to keep them together just off to the side in their own little tub as they develop. But they are beautiful. And they're rose gold pinkish. Do you know if those already they've got to, I'm not the first to see them, but I didn't know what they were called.
I've never seen that strain come. I've never seen that strain.
No.
And I'm the one so right before the pandemic started, I was shopping websites with connections to like Japan and China, trying to actively import rice fish. And I found one that's a koi coloration rice fish. And I put down I put my money down. I paid extra for the customs and everything. And it was like the next week, the pandemic hit, everything shut down over there.
Mhm.
So I held on to my order for almost a year. And I finally emailed the company. It's like, I'm sorry. Like, it's been, who knows when this is going to end. Maybe I'll reach back out. But I after searching through everything, I never found a pink one. So you may be onto something there.
As soon as I get off the stream with you, I'm going to go outside. I'm going to take a picture and I'm going to send you an Instagram message.
Please,
and,
I'm interested in seeing them.
And I will keep them going, and I will give you first dibs for like a present.
That'd be awesome.
I will just send you whatever. I don't know, and they are not every batch I get them, and it seemed like I didn't get any variations in the blue ones. It was just the Pearl Galaxy ones. And they are head to toe, evenly colored pink.
Maybe this gets to be your own strain of rice fish.
I don't know, but they are so cool. And they are like, you can see them like a mile away. Like that's not like the rest.
Because I've done
maybe every couple, 3 or 4 egg batches that I see, I'll see one.
There's got to be some recessive gene. I don't know how the genes work in there. Because I've done the gold rice fish, and they're nothing like what you're describing.
I'll send you a picture immediately. Like after this, I'll go right outside because it's actually sunny finally. I think this is the first Sunday in I don't know, since the beginning of.
Well, recessive genes are hard to come by. We've already established that with the puppy.
He got a rare puppy.
Yeah, so I wonder if you've got a rare gene coming out of these rice fish.
I hope so, and I'll share the wealth with you.
That'd be awesome. I really want to get into more. I want to breed because I had Javanese rice fish. They're the same thing. They have longer finnage and different things, and I figured out the trick with them, and I was breeding a bunch, and I really enjoyed them. And the orange ones I brought in, I had them going strong for quite a while, and then something happened, and I started losing them off just one by one. So right now, the only rice fish I have are the ones that I'm selling on my website. Mm-hmm. But other than that, I don't have any rice fish that I'm personally working with. And you know those fish that you get rid of it. It kind of leaves that empty space in your soul. I should never. That's the rice fish. I need rice fish back in my life.
Well, I don't know what got me hooked. I really don't know if it was a video or someone talking about them, but I ordered them and I didn't even really know what I knew a little bit about them and what they look like, but I never kept them, never even seen them in person before. And I fell in love with them, and they were perfect because I was shopping for something to keep outside for the tubs, and I wanted something different than the guppies.
Yeah, they do great outside.
They did fat, and the tubs, they're a little bit smaller. They're 30 gallons at the most, and I didn't fill them all the way up, but they got really, from being outside, they got covered in that algae at the top.
Oh yeah, that's perfect.
They bred like crazy in that, and then I moved them in because I thought since the tubs were smaller.
You moved them in. I threw my back out moving.
Well, I thought they would freeze, and they did okay, but I stopped seeing fry. And then even when I fed them, they still kind of got skinny, but I'm sure they'll pet back up just going back outside the never-ending supply of food. But yeah, it was night and day difference. I was like, I'll just have to find a heater or something. Or a bigger tub. That would probably be the best, wisest option.
We got more room for bigger tubs, so it'll be all right.
But I'm just now seeing this tank over here. There's a 20 long right here on this side. I had 2 blue daisy ones that I wanted to keep in that aquarium just so I could see them. Because in those tubs outside, you can't. That's one of the drawbacks with the tubs, at least with mine. I can't see them from the side. And I didn't know if they were going to do okay. They were eating and everything was okay. But now there's fry in there like crazy, just overnight. Mm-hmm. After it's been over a year at least, just all of a sudden now there's fry in that tank. And I was like, this is so cool. They got those blue eyes and they just so pretty.
Yep, I have swordtails right now that have a blue eye. Oh, and that's what I'm obsessed with. I love swordtails anyways, but I found them in an auction with the blue eye, and that's why I bought them. I didn't care They have a really nice high fin. They have really good swords. I just wanted the blue-eye gene that I could start mixing if I wanted to start mixing into other fish and that. But that blue eye, because the rice fish, the blue eye is awesome. But then the first time I saw a female carrying the eggs the way they do,
I blew my mind.
It's just like, what is happening right now? Like,
yeah, I walked over there, didn't expect it that first time because I've always had guppies. I've never had like egg layers and then have them successfully I was like, and I walked over there not expecting it, and I saw just a huge like on her little belly, and I sit there for hours. I was filming it, I was watching her like do it, and I just blew my mind. I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. Yeah, so yeah, blew my mind. I was so happy.
Oh, T-Bone.
Welcome. I didn't say hi to you earlier. Welcome. Do you guys have any questions in the chat for us? Let me know. Jesse will read it for us.
Yeah, I can read.
Sometimes I can't, even with my glasses on. I wish they had, like, I could blow. I'm sure they have some kind of screen I could set over the computer to make it bigger. But I've reached that point where I'm like, I can't see it.
Well, what else would you like to talk about, sweetheart? Well,
anything and everything. It's one of those things that after the chat ends, you're like, oh my gosh, I could have talked about that. And oh my goodness, I could have talked about that. And as soon as the camera comes on, you're like,
I'm an open book and ready to go. I've already put myself out. I've already put myself out on the internet at some point. So
the internet kind of cracked, like kind of some trouble. Is there anything that you wanted to ask or just talk about in your chat since the internet was kind of?
I was really fascinated by your higher education you've done going down the biology. That was I've still am impressed of that. So that's I was hoping to keep going more with that on my stream because that was awesome. I mean, that was absolutely awesome. I haven't.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I haven't run into anybody with that, like a freshwater biology education. I've never heard of that before, so I was really fascinated by that.
Yeah, that's my plan. My degree is just general biology, but my plan is to go into freshwater biology if there's ever a program open. But that experiment was so fun, and I learned so much that I wasn't even expecting to learn. But it was kind of a blur because I took 21 hours on top of doing all of that. And I have gone back relatively recently and kind of reread some of this stuff. And I was like, man, like I even forgot about that just through. But the hardest thing was just trying to figure out how to measure all those little bitty guppy fry without killing them. Taking them out and measuring them. You didn't want to sacrifice anything. And I was taping those little rulers to the glass and I was trying all kinds of things to get those, but it was interesting, the results, because the ones that were stressed with my little homemade fish thing, they had more fry and the fry were smaller. And then the ones that just lived a carefree life, I fed them all the time. The fry, they took forever to drop. They were larger and there were less fry.
It's got to be I imagine it's kind of a state of survival aspect. The more fry produced, the more hopefully we'll survive in these waters.
Yeah. They felt the need to produce to get their genes out there because they didn't know if they were going to get eaten.
Right.
So they had to keep the line going. And that's the reason with I don't know all the technical names anymore, but usually the smaller the fish or the smaller, let's say like a rat, they have so many babies because they're lower on the food chain and they get eaten more.
Survival of the fittest.
So they have a lot more babies. And that was kind of took us a whole semester to learn that. But it was a good time.
Trevor asked Trevor. So when I went and saw a mountaintop, I was able to bring back some rainbow cichlids. They're doing really well. So they're actually. Can I turn the camera without breaking things? We'll see. I have them in this weird like 80-gallon tank over off to the side here with some Australian rainbows. And these rainbow fish have one of the most dark golds I've ever seen come out of a fish now.
Oh, wow.
So they're looking good. They're enjoying all the plecoceramic hides. So I got plants that came in yesterday. I got to plant the tank out today, do a water change on it. But they're out and happy.
Wow, that's awesome. I'm sorting them out. I don't really know how to stabilize them any more than keeping them separate. I just keeping them, and there's going to be a point where I probably have to keep the line stronger.
Yeah.
Well, and Mountain also asked about, and I can't read the entire question about snails at high altitude. So he's setting up Well-Done Tank.
So he's at 9,100 feet above sea level. He is high up there. And I know he's been having trouble. Snails will lay eggs. The mission snails will lay eggs, and then they won't hatch. So my mountaintop, I saw your question earlier too in a co-op stream. My idea would be to build your own incubator and let it float, because I'm wondering which doesn't make sense since I've seen your tanks, but the humidity level, I'm wondering if you would have a better chance of them actually hatching in a smaller container where the humidity is higher. Because I've never had an infertile clutch laid, if that makes sense. I've bred hundreds of mystery snails out. I've never had an infertile clutch laid. And at one point, I only started with like 5 snails, and I turned into hundreds real quick. So I mean, I'd be interesting to see though if the altitude really did affect that. But I can't imagine it would.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no help on that. I am sorry, but that would be interesting to know the results of it.
Well, I mean, it affects your minimum approach distances with electricity and everything else. The higher the altitude, thinner the air, you have to stay further away from things because it can travel so much faster.
Because he does have an interesting idea of, because the barometric pressure is lower, that his fish were always fired up, always looking to breed. So he has that theory that because the pressure is lower, like a storm moves in, drops that pressure, pressure's lower. Because we were watching breeding behavior from his hairy puffers while I was there, which was fascinating. It was absolutely fascinating. So he how high he is on the mountain, it really has brought in some like things I would like to study more of. Yeah,
that sounds
does the elevation affect it? Does the pressure affect it? Are snails not hatching because the less pressure, or is it what is causing this? So he's an interesting setup.
Sounds like it.
I was going to say that there's so many different experiments he could do just being at that level.
Hi. Okay, I'm coming over here. Watch your toes.
Oh, there's catfish. I got to give out the yeehaw.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So cool. I'm the puffer. Puffer in there.
I hope the puffer's still in the tank.
If he got
we're in
out,
trouble.
that's not good.
Yeah.
Somebody better put a leash on that puffer.
It's for you.
R&B animals here.
So, sister.
Rainbow trout have different colors as the elevation goes up.
What's that?
What did he say?
Rainbow trout have different colors as the elevation goes up.
Yeah, I would say I've caught some different looking rainbow trout up in the higher elevations of the Utah mountains. Because I've been up there. Okay, baby.
Or even just going up and down the stream.
I don't know what you're saying.
Oh,
baby, they can all hear you.
You're not loud. You're beautiful.
that kitty. That kitty.
I don't know. I got kid now. My dog. I got my dog in here now too. Everything's coming in here.
It happens.
You get extra guests in your show today.
That's okay. It happens to us all the time.
Well, it sounds like they're wonderful guests to me.
Oh, they are. That's why I just
beautiful one on camera right now.
I no longer. no longer fight it. We just go for it.
Yeah, you just go with it. Just go with it.
Do you want to listen? Do you want to listen?
Mhm.
Okay. You can listen. No.
Oh,
I thought it was a ghost opening.
Duggar is there.
the door.
Yeah, she was back there for a few minutes, popping it open and closed. No, you didn't want to
Weirder
listen.
things have happened. This morning was a weird morning for me. I went to
Turn your
Starbucks
head.
and got attacked by a blue jay. A blue jay flew in the car. And I was like, okay, I'm awake.
listen?
And then I got a flat tire. And then I came back and had a horrible headache. It was just a weird day.
No, baby, Daddy needs him. Daddy needs to listen.
But yeah,
Do you want to go take Tucker and get a treat?
Sure.
she is. Precious.
absolutely wonderful.
Sophie.
That,
Okay.
You can stay and say hello.
He's got to stay here, okay? Daddy's
Yeah,
trying to
now-
answer questions.
Now our kids just tell us we're not cool.
Yeah,
I know. Yeah, I guess that's true. I'm only cool for a certain amount of time until she's a teenager.
yeah. Enjoy it while it lasts.
Right, and he's got a note on his door that says everybody, no one's allowed, especially mom. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
What's this?
It's plugged into Daddy's headphones. So Daddy can hear.
Well, I have a question real quick for you. Whenever you know so much about rice, I'm gonna pick your brain. Whenever there's gonna be a point where the pink ones need to be strengthened, where I'm gonna have to have something. Do I
helmet.
another Pearl Galaxy one in there since that's where I got it from?
I would. Yeah, if I was that and you wanted to strengthen the lungs, if they are, and I'm sure someone is going to correct me on the correct terminology, the gene and stuff, but if it is a recessive gene and you take it back to a Pearl Galaxy, you should then, wouldn't it work that you should get some that are Pearl Galaxy and some that are pink?
If they're heterogeneous
Is it
versus homogeneous, I would. If
So
it
there's-
has like a dominant gene and a recessive gene, because you don't know that
Right.
until you breed it. But if
Right.
let's say they both have a dominant gene, then I wouldn't. But I
I
would
would-
have like a 1/4 probability. If I breed, well, it'd probably go up. If I bred a full pink one, I would have like what
You'd have a
75% chance pink one. I would have
Yeah, because they came from a Pearl Galaxy and then also based just on the color.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to find another pink one easily. I would assume
50-50, wouldn't it? Probability.
it would either be 50%. I can't do it in my head.
Yeah,
But
that's what I would find another group of pearls and bring them in. So I think you'd start mixing bloodlines of pearls and pinks to
I think
see
that would
what comes
probably
out
be
of that.
the wisest idea. Once I start seeing like, I don't know, what, every 3 or 4 generations, or just whenever I start seeing like something, I hate to say it, like a crooked spine or something, then that's when you start to back cross it with something.
Yeah, which could be way more generations than we even have
I don't
time
even-
for.
Yeah. I'll just have to watch them and see, because I do have them separated out, and I'll take a picture of them as soon as this is over. I'll run outside, take a picture, and send it to you, because I've asked a couple people about this, and they're like, I don't know. I'm like, well, I didn't think I'd be the only one. I figured everybody that got these would have these, so I'm curious.
No, because I had Pearl Galaxies for a hot minute, bred a few of them, and none of them ever came out pink or anything like that. So I really think you've got something special going there.
Wow. Well, I'm excited. I was excited before, but now I'm excited.
Well, John says you always need to add new genetics.
Yeah, because that's what my problem is with the guppies. That's the reason a couple of my guppies it seemed like I'd be like, I can find these again. I'll find another male or a female I can add them in when I see that. And then I never found them again.
That's the hard part of this too, is you find a really good fish, and sometimes it's hard to get that fish again.
Yeah, and I hate to mix them, but there's been a couple of times where I have mixed a couple of tanks together, some cool lines that I'm like, well, if I keep them by themselves, they're not going to last.
Yeah.
I got to do something. And I can't find anything. At the time, the auctions aren't open. And sometimes it is fun just to see what comes out. I try to keep the lines as pure and going as long as I can. But sometimes when you do mix a couple of things together, you get those magical, you're like, that is beautiful. It's nothing special, but man, that's pretty.
But it's special. It's special to you. It could be special to somebody else. And yeah, because I've got some mutt guppies that have really pretty coloration on the tails, even the bodies. And I have some Japan blue gold. Was it the blue gold double sword? That's a mouthful. That I've thought about trying to cross to see what happens. Like I know it angers half of the community that's like, no, you have to keep your fish pure. But then the other half is like, I really want to see what happens because there's no way. When I look at things like flower horns, which are absolutely test tube fish, and how did we get some of these fish until somebody tried to breed the black ram? That's a great example, right? People were breeding rams and trying to get a darker blue, and then all of a sudden this black gene popped out of them. Okay, now if we never started crossing things, we would have never landed on this. Pink rice fish, we would have never landed on this had we not tried this. So I think the same thing with guppies. Like, there's no way that these leopard tail guppies and lava guppies and pink flamingo guppy, there's no way that these strains just existed without some meddling of, let's try this. Like, shoot, like, Kate, I can breed this one back. Oh, that one kept breeding true. Like, now we're on to something.
Yeah, that's why I keep this 55 above my head. That's my everything guppies. It's just guppies and shrimp. But some of my favorite guppies in the fish room have come from that tank, and it was just a complete accident. Something bred with something and produced a beautiful guppy.
Yes, something with the rainbows, and it came out really well.
Yep.
But it's fun when you can prove that again, right? Start breeding those back to each other and have a genetic line continue. That's where it's fun. That's what's so much fun with live bears, and you can do so many things with them
quickly too, because they do reproduce. That's the reason I used the guppies in the experiment, because I was like, man, you can get generations and see the difference quick, like every month if you're lucky, over some of the other ones. Oh, here comes our nut troublemaker. Likes to attack my computer.
Yeah, the cord rupture.
I tell you, I got this wonderful MacBook, and then the cat attacked it, and its claws cracked the screen, and I was like, no. That would horror. Yeah, this MacBook I'm running right here. Like, this was a huge investment for us. I'm so it's like the only thing besides my child in my existence, and I was like, oh man, that lasted like a day.
That's too bad.
And no matter where I go, I could go outside, this cat would find me. Come downstairs, the cat's gonna find me. There's something about this computer. I guess it likes the heat. I don't know, but
could be.
Wonderful kitty.
I'm pretty sure the cat just enjoys aggravating you.
Yeah, it broke my glasses. I had to get new glasses. It looked at me and swatted my glasses, and I was like, you just broke my glasses. Lovely cat. We love it. There's things you want to talk about the last few minutes, Jesse?
I'm good. You've had me on a chore list for 48 hours.
It's so awful. Listen to him. We did do a good job yesterday, though. I will give him credit. He did help me quite a bit, like all day. We cleaned every tank because I have been slacking on the tank maintenance. Like I said, everything's been okay, but they just didn't look too hot because I've been obsessed with these puppies.
That's a good thing to be obsessed with.
They're so cute. I'll talk about them forever probably, but I've never been around a litter of puppies seeing them born, and it's just, they're cute. This cat's crazy. We love him too, but other than the summer tubs here, that's really about the only thing I've got going on. this summer besides Aquashella. But I guess once you get your move and everything situated, you'll have tons of time to play.
Hopefully. That's the hope. Is we're trying to do at the same time we're moving, we're trying to do a career change, and just the end goal is more time for family, little more time for fish kind of thing. So I think because we're trying to go to Texas, and if I know Aquashella typically is what in Orlando, and then is it Dallas they go to?
The Chicago's and
okay, so
I think it's
so I know, and that's what's in like all the conventions happen over on the East Coast, which I get. I think the fish community is twice as big, if not bigger, than what we have over here, like Midwest, West Coast. So that's if I do land in Texas, getting to Orlando would be a lot easier. Getting up to Chicago would be a lot easier for a few different things. So hopefully next year it would definitely be one. Oh, is it Dallas at Halloween? So part of it too is like I really want to go to the one in Florida because there's so many things to go do in Florida, and I really want to piggyback off Wild Fish Tanks. I want to go collecting out there so bad, but I need another excuse to go there to go do that first. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, they're definitely, if you can make one, they're definitely worth just the connections and talking to people. It's just hands down. It's so much fun. Just the conversations. It's worth it, especially like just since you do YouTube and just kind of behind the scenes, and like they're so willing to help you try this or try that or give you advice on this, that it is helpful. Not everything works, but it's nice to have a conversation about and see what I can learn.
Sure. No, I think it's
because fish keeping's hard on its own, and then sharing the process makes it hard. And I don't know what I'm doing ever when it comes to YouTube. So it's like advice, criticism, it's fun to make connections and talk to everybody. It's fun. It's worth it if you can get to go. But this is the first one in Orlando, so I don't really know what to expect besides just my experience on the other two I've been to. But I hope we can get out and see. I've never been to Florida at all, so I hope I can see something besides the hotel. But
yes, I've never. My wife used to be a nanny down there.
Oh wow!
So she knows Florida. She knows that. I have like anything past what is it like? I mean, I've driven through some of the Midwestern states, but I've never been to Florida. I've never been to like Chicago. I've never been to any like New York. So there's a lot of things I want to do over the East Coast. And Florida is definitely one of them.
Yeah, the joy with when I was traveling doing hair stuff, I got to go all over the place, but I never got to leave the hotel prep room. So I went to New York, I went to all these places, but I didn't get to see anything but the airport and the model prep room because I had to do all the prep work to get. And then the stage artist would be like, "This is what we did," and I was like, I helped with that. But I never got to. So now when I travel and go to like Aquashella stuff, I do want to try to make it a point to see some other things because, I'm there. I want to take advantage. So I'm hoping I get to, when I do go to a few more places again someday. But with the kids, it is hard with like, especially yours is a lot younger than mine. It's so hard. And the amount of stuff you have to pack, you're like, and with me, I'm like, well, we'll do it a little bit when he gets older. And now he's older. And I was like, I haven't done anything. We didn't go any of those places.
Yep. Getting down to Texas, that was a fun. I mean, it was fun to have her down there, but it's definitely a lot of extra things. Like, we got to think about this. Like, how's she going to do on the plane? She did all right on the plane. What are we going to do here? And
that's quite a big trip. That's not even a
kids usually do better on the plane than adults.
Yeah, it was fun for her until we started landing and the pressure changed. But then just the whole flight, she's just, we're flying. Yeah, we're flying. We're going.
Yeah, we'll see. We've never flown together, so we'll see how this works.
Yeah, adults on a plane is not always necessarily a good time.
I've heard a few fish people say they want to meet you in person. Well,
that's cool.
Yeah. It's hard to believe that anybody wants to meet me, but I'm willing to meet and talk to whoever. That's the best part. Like, I will have to say the first couple aqua shows I went to, my whole point was to help with the fish tube booth. I just wanted to help. I just wanted to do anything and everything I could do to help. And now that I've been there and I kind of know how things run a little tiny bit, I'm hoping that I remember to take a picture and like take in the experience more and not just work. Like, not really work, but just kind of enjoy the show.
I think if I go, because I'll bring on my camera gear because I know I want to do something there. I think if I go, I'll probably stow my camera more and just go be. Like, that's really what I want to go do is I want to go make connections. I want to see the fish tube booth and all these different things, but I also want to go, if somebody recognizes me, cool. If nobody recognizes me, cool. Like, I still get to go just be. And like, so when we went to Texas, part of it was let's go check out the area and check out see if we like it. The other part was see some friends. And I had every intention of pulling my camera out on different things, but I pulled it out once, and it was so nice actually just kind of unplug, see some fish stores with because Trevor, who's in the chat, he took me to an amazing fish store, and like I didn't film his tanks, I didn't film the fish store. And it was nice just to be and appreciate like his fish, this store, without having to like, all right, I have a deadline. Oh shit, I missed that B-roll footage. Like I can't go back and get that. Just be.
Enjoy the moment.
And when you feel like when I wanted to film like walking through, but when you look through your camera, you still miss so much.
Yes,
and when you film the fish stores and you're looking to make sure it's in focus, you can still see it, but there's just moving the camera out of the way. It's like, you can't even capture how pretty that is.
So I think if I go, my hope is that I will go to enjoy the moment, just go be awe-inspired and see. And then if it's something I really, really like, maybe I'll go back next year and film some things. I know there's been so many videos about aqua show. That's cool. Like everybody's got to do their own thing.
Yep.
But I at least just want to go once. They say just go experience it, because I know don't they give you the cool like glasses and stuff. They do all the funky colors, and so there's things I want to see there.
Yeah, the artwork. The art is what honestly that I wasn't expecting, but was the coolest thing that I saw was all the artwork, the amazing artists, like some of them just sitting there drawing right there. That is just amazing. Just all the different art. And some of them glow in the dark, and some of them are more hand drawn, like sketches, and others are just full color. You're just like, this is so cool. Like the whole atmosphere is just made for us fish people.
And you never know exactly what you're going to see or experience.
Well, mainly what conversation you're going to accidentally walk up to that you're like, I just learned more in 15 seconds of walk by than I did by myself in a month.
That's true. You compact a lot of nerds in one room. That's a lot of brain power in there.
And any fish your heart desires, you want to know, learn, possibly see. That one cylindrical, there is a Tetra tank, and then there's another one that was a seahorse tank. That was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. It was just swimming like that. I was like, wow, I could just watch that for days.
I've seen the videos of the Tetra tank, and that was awesome.
I can't remember. It was either 300 or 600. I can't remember. It was like 300 Tetra and a 600 gallon or something like that. And it was beautiful. I've never seen anything like that, like just the round type tank. And then all of them, it was just beautiful. And you could see it a mile away, and you're just like, wow, I want that in my living room.
That would be cool. Yes, it would be cool.
Well, I guess here the last few minutes, I'm just dying. I want to go take that picture. I just want to go take that picture and send it to you. So I just really appreciate this part 2 of our conversation, even though it was nothing on topic, but it was just fun to talk to you.
It's hanging out. It's good to be here. It's good to be invited. I'm glad I'm getting over my fear of being involved more in the community. I've been kind of my own little outlier lone wolf for so long now. I'm getting into it. I'm trying to be more open.
It makes me so nervous to reach out but at the same time, I'm so proud that I do because everybody is fantastic when I talk to them.
I really appreciate it. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed being here. I just enjoy that I get to come interact and be with you. That's the good part to me. So it makes me very happy.
Thank you for talking to me. It was a fun time.
Of course.
And I'm going to send you a picture in about 15 seconds.
Okay, I will be looking for it. I'm very interested to see these fish. So,
and I just want to say, I was supposed to be on Kevin's stream last night, and I totally blanked out, and I missed it. So we are going to schedule it for tonight. So if you want to come join me, and I won't space out on Kevin Leon's channel tonight, feel free to come join us. And I am, again,
I apologize.
So sorry, Kevin, that I blanked out, and I really thought it was this afternoon, but it was not. It was last night.
We apologize together. She fell asleep at 8 o'clock. I fell asleep at 9:30.
It was awful. So
I was watching a Netflix show.
It doesn't matter the excuses. It was my fault, and I'm sorry. So I will see you tonight.
We're old.
But thank you again so much for being here and talking.
I'm glad I was here.
Thank you guys in the chat, and I will see you next Sunday, and I will see you tonight also at Kevin's channel. So, bye, guys.
Thank you.
Peace.